Play some Doom.
Oh.
Salutations, 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 salutations.
Yeah. It's Doom time. Ah, where? Ow! Fuck!
I punch you, noob.
Yeah, you punched me alright.
It's punching time. Void says salutations and it just repeats on for like 15 times.
More like 15 minutes.
Yes. 15 minutes remaining. Ow. But yeah, this is like WAD we probably know because like apparently Rift actually was in charge of this project. He's also working on Twango 2 Neon Maya, which takes the theme of ancient aliens. Oh, by the way, I'm also playing this on a separate machine. Now with an SSD drive.
Solid state drive.
Yes. Mr. Helicat says, I have not heard Kuji in years. How have you been doing?
Nothing.
That's right. Offline, pretty much.
Until
I
now,
have
he's
free
playing some Doom.
hamburgers for sale.
Very nice. Ah! Yeah!
What type of patties are they? Smash?
Or melee? Which one?
Smash.
Like, smash burgers.
I
was thinking more...
I don't play fighting games.
Oh, man.
Oh, well...
Not even One Must Fall?
Have been around in the 60s, you know?
I was thinking One Must Fall when it comes to fighting games. Ow.
Oh.
Fuck. I still remember that jibbing sound effect in this WAD where it goes like, hee hee, yeah, boy. And I think they sneaked in like a Mortal Kombat scream sound effect as well. Actually, it's kind of been a while since I actually touched Chocolate Doom multiplayer. Like, most of the time, me and my friends over at the Deathmatch Club would be playing on Classic Gaming Arena. Which, by the way, has a Windows 95 version.
Yeah, I've kind of just barely heard of it.
Right, I've been meaning to make a video on that a while back. Fun fact, I actually, like, play-tested the features for 95 support. What about Peak Fighting Game? Clay Fighter 63.5. Real. Ah. So I'm green, who's indigo? Which is gray. Doom guy. That is all. Ow!
Doom guy.
The Doom man.
Man, only if Doom gets here.
Oh yeah. Most of the time he'll just play on Otomex, the Doom source port. The Doom male. The Doom cyborg. Nintendo's family-friendly version of Doom guy.
The hell? Why is the plasma gun X-Wing bullets?
I don't know where that sound effect came from originally. Must be borrowed from some Dwango WAD. Did you know that Doom was made in the Atari by ID Software?
ID Software.
Yeah, that's how I used to call id Software back then. ID
Yeah,
Software.
I think I saw the June the First kid call it that too.
Right. Call man Junior.
Best reviewer.
Indeed. This channel on YouTube is the reason why we play Chasm the Rift multiplayer every June the 1st.
It's like a national holiday.
Pretty much.
Federal holiday, take a day off work to play Chasm the Rift.
Yeah. Il reminds you of Turok in a way. Fuck. But yeah, since this is the first stream of 2025...
Actually, it's the last stream of 2004.
Right. And in 2005, we're gonna continue Christmas Doom, despite it being out of season.
Well,
Part
actually,
3.
it's not Christmas yet. We're still waiting at least 300 days. So, I mean, it's perfectly well in line.
Fair enough. Chasm the Rift, played on June the 1st. That's right, Void.
Monk.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a command line parameter I forgot to set that, you know, sets a timer per map. But don't worry, we have the exit switch if we needed. Peekaboo. Ow!
Oh, you want to leave?
Sure. Ow!
Okay.
So I suppose your Doom guy's color is brown, I'm green. I think Z's indigo, aka gray. There we go.
Let me see you guys.
Well, you can tell what color your Doom guy is by the mugshot.
I think I'm great.
I'm green. It's time to read Penny Arcade and Real Life Comics in the year of our Lord 2005. Ah. Imagine if Rift popped in on the stream. Ow! Why are these
pretty spooky?
Yeah, you're like, what are these bosses doing at almost 12 in the morning?
Yeah,
At least on my end.
he missed out on a good match of Doom.
I gotta turn you up a little bit more.
Hold on. Let
There
me
we
turn
go.
myself up.
Oh,
I only turned myself down a little because I'm making a little bit too much noise.
oh,
Mumble don't have good... I didn't set my mumble up right is what I'm trying to say.
oh, fair enough. Yeah, I don't use it very often. Ow!
Me either.
Humble bundle.
But I use it whenever.
Also, yes, Red will 100% say that. According to Void. Who is this guest? In case you missed the introduction, our mystery guest is Koji.
Yep. The one and only.
He's playing with us in Doom 2. Also known as Gradius, the video game multiplayer FPS, made in 2004. Ow. Sounds like Joel. Wait, from Vine Sauce? Oh. Are you talking about, like, my impression? Oh, yeah. God damn, I could sound like Civi, and now I can sound like Joel.
What
No.
about me? Who do I sound like the most? I'm just saying right
Billy
now.
Mays.
Billy
Do you
Mays.
guess who the man is behind this voice?
Billy Mays. It's
Billy
Billy
Mays.
Mays.
Billy Mays here, and today we're playing Doom 2. Billy Bass.
You won't ever need another game again.
With this kitchen gun. Johnny Bravo. Bravo Johnny.
You sure? He's a very popular video game character. I'll kind of give you that.
Void says Kuji is Johnny Knoxville from Johnny Bravo. Jonny Bravo. Oh gosh. This is Doom Guy, and welcome to Jackass. After 1 year of development, it'll be worth the wait.
Welcome to Jackass. And Duke proceeds to kick somebody in the, you know,
Right in the jewels.
right in the jewels. Ooh, right in
As
the
said in
jewels.
Duke Nukem Forever 2011, by the way.
Yep.
The Forbidden Duke
Right in the
game.
jewels. Yep.
And today we're going to rocket jump towards a lava pit with blue armor. That's how I get out of certain levels in Plutonia Experiment. Ow! But I lose all my weapons. Oh. Got him.
It's been a while since I played Doom.
Fuck. Yeah, it's been a bit actually. I remember like, got a bit of a hitch there, but yeah. I remember some people were kind of, well, some people probably including me were like getting a little bit burnt out on every 2 weeks we playing Doom Deathmatch on the DOSBox Deathmatch Club.
Yeah, well, I was getting burned out on grinding Dragon Spirit, an arcade game from like the 80s. It was just, you know, really just tearing my balls off, basically.
Oh yeah, I was there when you were playing that.
I saw
Yeah.
you completed it, right?
Yeah, I did. I've gotten that knocked down. Now it is on stream. It
Yep.
was just kind of I don't know how long it took for me to get there. It might have been like a month or two, but
Takes trial and error. to
yeah,
get
it's
through
kind
those
of
games.
refreshing to just go back to, you know, filthy casual shit like Doom.
Yeah. And meanwhile, whenever I play a shmup or shoot 'em up, usually, I usually use save states. Well, that's mostly for console shit, so.
I mean, save states can definitely be helpful when you need to rehearse a particular part of the game you're having trouble with.
But yeah, I can probably tell completing it
just-
without save states would definitely be more satisfying and worthwhile. At least for the
Yeah.
sake of completing games, yeah.
It's just, that's the thing, you know. Sometimes they just get abused for like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this as my device to complete the game. It's like, you're not really getting everything you can out of it by just, if that's all you're relying on, you know, it's more of a tool to figure out how something works. Because
Right.
it's not always obvious until you get yourself immersed enough into it.
Right. I guess one thing for certain to ease on the save scumming would probably be the save per area, maybe. Like set some boundaries when you do save states.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was
mean-
playing through like Mega Man X or something, I typical kind of save scum a little bit.
I mean, I think the problem with a lot of games nowadays is that they've lost that.
He's getting pretty good with that double barrel.
That arcade design philosophy that was prevalent back then, where you could sit down and do it in one clean run. And everything was a lot more condensed. Now it's just really spread out. I mean, that's actually one of the reasons why, at least for the single player stuff, I prefer the first Doom game over Doom 2, because it had that episodic model which made everything, you could go through it, or like one major part of it, and
Right. I do know a lot of people prefer Doom 1's single player over Doom 2. Some would even say Freedom's campaign was probably more better than Doom 2. Also, Void says, Sigma team shooters with quick saves every 3.5 seconds. Oh god. Imagine all the saving. But funny enough, the Sigma team alien shooter games, they don't require saving at all. Actually, they don't save at all anyway, like, except for like after a level or two. Honestly, Doom 2 has a ton of terrible levels. I'm a little bit mixed on Doom 2's level design myself. I mean, I think the original somewhat of the first episode, despite, its progression being just one progression, and not like a per episode basis. Basically, the beginning of Doom 2 is usually referred to as the space station levels or something. The city levels is definitely what was the low point for Doom 2. God forbid you end up playing downtown.
Yeah, I kind of recall that. I'm not super familiar with the layout of Doom 2's levels, but
I do know downtown was like...
It just kind of feels like it left out some things which, made the first game interesting.
Whereas, like, I mean, I do believe downtown was really confusing as well. But, yeah, I mean, unlike, the map like, the Sunspire from Unreal, which, despite being confusing and almost heavily reliant on light sources, it still remains to be a memorable part of the game, in my opinion. Like, I remember I used to hate that level, but the more I play it, the more I grew to like it.
They're definitely a lot more distinguishable, whereas with Doom 2, they're kind of just a little bit forgettable.
Right. Doom was more memorable in terms of level design, the way it looks like. Let's see.
Yeah, it had a very unique blend of, I guess you could call Satanism and science fiction. It was kind of interesting, the way they went with the art direction.
Right. Yeah, I do find it kind of interesting how, like, Doom 2 was, like, focused on, like, the whole idea of hell forged or fused with the planet Earth. That's what the city levels were kind of meant to be, was like a fusion between real worlds, despite not resembling it very well, unlike other games like Duke Nukem 3D that came out like 2 years later. Yeah, Duke Nukem 3D resembled real world locations pretty well, actually, thanks to the build engine.
You know what I wished about the build engine? I wish Kim would open source it these days, man.
I mean, the code's out there, but...
there is a source release.
Right, but the license is kinda something. It's proprietary in a sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of proprietary. Maybe some code is
No.
not so proprietary.
To explain it, I think I would say the Duke code is GPL because a lot of that's just game functionality. But the engine itself by Ken Silverman is probably under his license. But, you know, it can open it up a little bit more and just gone permissive like with MIT. I think probably it would be used more frequently, you know, in my opinion.
Now, speaking of Unreal, which reminds me, like, there's one level that still makes me confused to this day, and it's definitely not the Sunspire. It would be Bluff Eversmoking.
Yeah, that one kind of is just underwhelming.
Right, not
I
not
guess
to
it
mention,
only
like...
sticks out for, like, the graveyard there. I guess, I'm not sure, I guess they...
And there was at times where I just didn't know where to go either.
Real tombstones there. I don't know who those were referring to, but...
Yeah, even weirder is like when I was playing through Unreal back in February as well. Even to this day, I have to like exploit the progression to get past that level at all. Like I would like use the 8-ball gun just to rocket jump to a certain spot to get somewhere. I still do that to this day, actually, whenever I play through Unreal. Which, funny enough, I thought about doing a stream in the future where I play through Unreal on 3DFX hardware. Since nowadays I got 3DFX card.
You got one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a Voodoo too.
I have a 3DFX for a while.
Yeah, it came alongside the 486 from the back rooms. Ah. But yeah, finally I can get rid of the direct 3D stuff on Unreal because that's more of an afterthought. According to Void, it says, Daki, the last time we played at Bluff Eversmoking, I weren't confused at all and immediately got it in oh, because I used the rocket jumping, I think. Or maybe somebody else knew where to go and I just followed along. Yeah, my memories of the co-op kind of were a little bit vague. Did I not do the rocket jump? Huh. I don't know, I guess it just didn't click on me yet. Mattress the Dustbin says, can we get this baby man some formula with Branch? Oh boy.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Ran?
Yeah. It reminds me of that one time I sent Rift, at the Deathmatch Club a video of, apparently it was a video on Twitter. Apparently someone took a good bag of, what was a candy? It was like sour, oh, it was sour candy. I'm trying to remember. Sour Patch Kids, there we go. And this dude on the video drenched it with ranch dressing. It was hilarious.
I need to go see that.
Yeah. I'll have to send it to you one of these days.
I think I remember you were mentioning it was in like a best of voice chat video.
Oh yeah.
And then Open Rift gagged.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right, because I showed him a video of Shoe Nice trying to swallow earbuds and stuff.
You know what's far
Oh
worse
yeah, Shoe
with Branch?
Nice.
Remember that? You remember that? Oh, go ahead.
I remember one time I was looking for like a stupid source to use in some side project I was making. I was saying, I'm gonna look up someone eating deodorant, and that's how I found Shoe Nice.
Right.
I
think I found like
confident in it. He was eating it like it was a
candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Jack.
It reminds me of like I would go on YouTube way back then and like watch somebody. I actually watched somebody eat a cactus on camera.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I shit you not.
How do you eat a cactus? Like,
Yeah.
do you take the needles off of there before you?
No, this dude actually ate it with the needles on there.
Oh.
What?
He's gonna be going to the ER the next following days.
Yeah, that's gonna sting, alright.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be going to the Wild West jail for that.
Yeah, because eating
That's
cactuses is criminal in there.
Yeah, they are sacred. I've watched enough Western films that I pretty much know how it worked back then. Yo, you fuck with the cactus, you get ranch.
Pretty much. Ah! Remember, people, don't try this at home.
You know what's far worse than the whole ranch thing, which there is ranch involved? Sour Patch. Remember that Sour Patch meme, Baratus?
Right.
Yeah, they had stuffed it with ranch, bro. That's even far worse.
And there was like the one time
I believe someone ate it too.
yeah, I remember like one time I also watched somebody mix baking soda and vinegar and drank it. Or either drank it or ate it, actually. It didn't end well. I don't know about drinking it, but it was like, I think how he did it was like, he took the baking soda, like, on a spoon and then put it in his mouth. And then proceeded to drink the vinegar. And would like... It was funny, actually, because it like, he immediately spits it out. According to Void, which is on the context of Bluff ever smoking, I didn't abuse anything, follow anyone, do anything split level. You did it first try. Huh, interesting. I guess I just don't remember that very well. Maybe if I play it through one of these days on 3DFX, it'll probably, it might click eventually.
I'm not doing too bad this time around.
How many kills?
26.
24.
27.
28. 29. If I shot you right then, it would have been 29. Like, bro, this is... I'm doing good this year.
Very nice. Meanwhile, I remember, like, prior to the stream here, I had me and Void dueling each other in this game called Soldat.
30. I feel like
made by Polish developer Transhuman Designs. It was an interesting game that released in 2002. Still on Steam nowadays. Void says, it was a time I was most genuinely mad I genuinely ever been in Unreal. Oh yeah, it might be the same co-op session where apparently I was once or twice pushed out of the entrance to Sunspire because Void shot comboed me. I remember getting so, like, somewhat irritated out. I was like, oh, I'm about to fucking disconnect if this goes on. Or something like that. But yeah.
I could probably see why I'm getting a little bit comfortable right now.
Very nice. Doom 2, it will consume you.
I think I'm good at close range weapons, to be honest.
The thing that bugs me so much about Doom's Deathmatch is that when you get hit hard, the screen goes so red and the contrast is just horrible.
Right, I think some WODs tend to address that with modified color map lumps or play pal lumps too. That makes the contrast of when you get hit less intense. I kind of like the idea of that because it makes playing this a bit easier and more tolerable too. Whenever you're in like in a situation where you got blasted with a double barrel and somehow survived.
I got 40 frags. You think maybe we could change the map?
Might as well. Void says for
I got about 36.
Apparently, according to Void, for Kuti, the Doom remaster has the option to turn that completely off. I also didn't know that either. Oh, this is one of Rift's levels. Shipment.
Oh. I wonder if it has ranch in it.
Good question. Ranch dressing.
Ranch, the movie.
Yes.
By the way, I feel like this match is going pretty well this time around.
Come here. I'm going to punch the shit out of you. Ow!
I win.
Damn.
One thing about
Fuck, dark.
That's kind of the interesting thing about, another interesting thing about Doom's Deathmatch is that, like, the default is weapon stay, item pickups are gone forever.
Right. And that was later
Yeah.
addressed with, like, later versions with, Deathmatch mode number 3.
I think it was just called Alt Death.
Actually, that's more number 2, actually. Old Death, it's like that everything respawns, and it's like, in order to win in those kinds of matches, you have to control the level.
I think it is kind of an interesting little thing. At first, I kind of didn't really like the idea because it was, it felt very primitive, I would say, but over time, it kind of just, that's why in the Windows 98 video that I did, I went with Alt Death before.
It works pretty well, like, with duels, in my opinion, but by the time you get to so many players, it just, like, there's so many, like, even in Quake, you got scenarios where,
that is kind of a thing,
like, 50% of the players in that lobby would just be stuck with single-barreled shotguns.
Yeah, something...
Also, hi Salty, welcome to the stream.
Sort of a dynamic of like early game and late game, where you can pick up a bunch of stuff to get a edge over the other players for a while. Although it doesn't really last that long for sure. Having the staying weapons and permanent item loss, or whatever you may call it, it kind of just keeps things going, so you're not always hoarding health and armor to just remain like undead, basically.
So let's see, someone named Overrated Welsh Bloke says, when I see a silly person say I'm okay, they are usually not. If you want to talk, I'm a silly person who will help.
Okay, but,
Right. But if you're doing okay genuinely, I'm glad you're doing well on this fine Thursday. Indeed. That's all part of the fun. We usually, do live streams and, play, get our minds out of, like, some, situation and have a good time, usually.
Right.
Just like, like playing Doom II Deathmatch.
Yeah, I guess I'm just more annoyed than anything else that I had to, like, I had to fix some little errors in a video that I was meaning to upload, like, 2 days ago.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it was, because I know everyone is, there's, like, a lot of people on who, like, watch my videos that have been really waiting for hardcore Windows to come out in 4K.
Right.
I mean, arbitrary upscaling mostly, but it does work very, very well for, like, direct captures. Because I can use point sampling, but...
Oh, right, yeah, you had a friend, right? That,
yeah,
had that
I
channel.
did commission someone to help me with a lot of that. He did most of the work.
Right.
Actually, because I was more focused on programming and stuff.
Right.
He got burned out, so I'm pretty much taking over. That brings me to an interesting story, actually, you know, regarding my editing software that I had been using. You know, it's actually pretty dirty. Basically,
Ow.
I had to, you know, I have a legit copy of Adobe Production Premium CS6, and it was the last, you know, product that they were, the last major product they were offering perpetual licenses for before they went to just subscription only. And
Oh. Yeah, I guess I recall, like, yeah, Adobe definitely went downhill when they went subscription based. Also, yeah, because I remember, like,
it's fucking terrible.
right. Even I talked to Void about Adobe as well, and like, he believes they start, you know, she started hating. Well, she started hating on, well, not hating, but disliking Adobe because it's all like AI or something too. On top of that.
Yeah, I've kind of just barely heard about it because I haven't used any Creative Cloud versions, but yeah, it's you know, it's gotten very nefarious. You know, they started, you know, apparently they're now wanting to like farm the content that their own customers make and use it to, you know, feed their AI training programs. Right. And so a significant number of them had decided to cancel their subscriptions in droves. And then they found out that in order to do that, they have to pay a cancellation fee. So now
God, yeah.
Adobe's getting sued by the Federal Trade Commission for that.
Right. Also, welcome to the stream, Kandra Media. We're doing some Doom II Deathmatch.
Yeah, as for my own copy, I mean, you know, even back then, I mean, their software was already, you know, ungodly expensive. You know, it'd be like over $1,500 or something for just one suite. I mean, even like Photoshop Extended by itself was like 1,000 for what? Like, why would software ever cost more than $1,000 unless it's extremely specialized, like, for some industrial application? Photoshop, that's just bullshit.
Right. I mean, if you thought buying a $1,500 Mac Mini was bad, just wait till you buy $1,000 software on top.
Yeah. I mean,
also, not to interrupt this one, but apparently, I think it was someone that said, you know what's worse? Games for Windows Live. Oh god, I think I remember that, actually. Because when
I told about this on my Dragon Spirit stream before, but what happened is that I needed to get my software activated again, and what ended up happening is that when I tried to activate it, said, sorry, your 2 activations are you wanting to exit?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the meantime, there's another map. I don't think that's Rift's map, but in the meantime, once we get the server room on fire, which might be one of Rip's contributions too, or maybe he was involved in. He has a Easter egg that was, you know, shown in this map somewhere on one of the monitors. Yeah, Mortal Kombat death sounds in this WOD. It's Twango 1. Basically, it's supposed to be a spiritual, like, kind of, I'm not sure if I want to call it spiritual successor, but more of like a tribute to the Dwango WODs.
Right, it's just, it feels like more of a tribute to those WODs.
Right.
Kind of inspired after them, you know.
Fuck.
Which it is, I can feel it. They did a good job.
Geez, that activation limit is one of the most common issues I had to deal with at work. Oh yeah, and on top of that, imagine having to go through, well, you log in on your Windows XP computer one day, and apparently this, the background was all black and everything, and on the bottom right it just says, you may be a victim of software counterfeiting.
Oh, yay.
I recall encountering that once or twice, way back then. I don't encounter it nowadays, but maybe there's a way to trigger that eventually somewhere.
I mean, for Windows XP, these days I just use the volume license version.
Right.
It doesn't require activation. It's a lot more convenient that way.
Right. Nowadays, there's programs out there in the wild that, well, allows you to activate through a phone.
One of my friends told me about a program that lets you
self-activate.
Something like it uses the telephone activation code method.
Yeah.
It generates the request and response codes for
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the big one.
Right. Meanwhile, someone says from Wolfie Spider says Dwango. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. What weapon generally gets the most kills in Doom Deathmatch games? I would say either the Super Shotgun or the Rocket Launcher. Mostly the Super Shotgun.
Super Shotgun's the best because
it's the meta of Doom II Deathmatch.
If you get very close in range, you can pop people super easy. It's pretty much the
reason why Doom I Deathmatch doesn't happen much.
Right. There'll be like a few times over at the Deathmatch Club where we do play something like Ultimate Doom, but only like one WOD or two. One of them might be,
it's more of a something they do on like December 10th or something.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Or sometime around then.
Right. But I mean, it'd be rare for us to play the Ultimate Dwango. Which, I guess, I almost was part of that project as well, but one of my maps got scrapped. Mainly because my skills haven't been improved yet. It needed more work for the Rift. But luckily for me, I got more to work with for the upcoming map. I might be working for Dwango 2. Yep, I didn't have enough health to survive the damaging floor. Super Shotgun because it's balanced. I know, right? Yep.
But, what I was gonna say about my copy of Adobe Production Premium, it is, legitimate. I got the student version, so it's like a massive discount. I was 16 then, so I just had to scan my report card so I could say, hey, yeah, I'm a student and this is gonna be for academic stuff. And so even though it wasn't necessarily the case, you send your report card from high school and they're, yeah, okay, here's your key.
Yeah, always in my case, I tend to sail the 7 seas or some shit.
Yeah, and that's what leads me to what I was gonna bring up. You see, in the past, whenever I needed to reset the activation count on my account, I'm usually in a position where I can't just deactivate it on my own end for my computers in order to free up some slots. So, what I would do is I would contact a support agent at Adobe, and up to now, I mean, they've usually been pretty good about, you know, getting that counter reset, but apparently now something must have changed where they can no longer do it on their end, and as a result, my license for my software is pretty much totally borked.
Yikes.
So, I mean, yeah, it is pretty much just swindling at this point. So, I figure, you know, I returned the favor. You know, last time I was having trouble with activation, I reached out to someone I knew. He sent me, like, some DLL files, and I didn't really know how to implement them properly at first, but, you know, now that it's happening again, I'm starting to put them to use once more. So basically what happened is that I figured out how to get Windows 7 installed on my 4TB NVMe drive. And this is on an X670E motherboard, mind you. It's a Ryzen 9950X, so I'm using a modified driver set to get it running because I do not trust Windows 10 or 11. I think it's safe to say, you know, as I mentioned before, they are malware now. So I just, I've been, you know, only Windows 7 is as far as I'll go.
Don't forget the co-pilot and recall features, boys.
Oh yeah, that is so fucked.
Yeah.
Oh my. Man, I know I've been planning to make some extra segments for Hardcore Windows, and you know, I think I'd like to do a sequel to that Windows XP movie I made. I'm just thinking, you know, I'm probably gonna have so much more to say now that we've actually seen how Windows 11 played out.
Right.
It's worse. Like, it is so much worse than I had ever imagined. Like, it is an absolute nightmare just from the co-pilot stuff alone.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck,
You
man?
can see why I kind of
This
just
is where
said,
they are now. And it all could have been avoided if they had just not been trying to do these consumer marketing gimmicks with Windows 8, and they instead just made it more iterative.
Right.
As it should have been. Like how they were kind of doing it in classic Windows NT. You know, it's all just, okay, we're gonna like release a new version every now and then. It's gonna be more stable, have some more functions in it. We're gonna make it better. That's the model they should have been running on, because, you know, their biggest customers are in the enterprise, and so it really doesn't make sense that they'd be trying so hard to sell to,
Apparently,
you know, it'll just sell itself to consumers, because they already have like total ties with major OEMs, so
right.
why would they need to try harder to market? And I think it's pretty prevalent. I mean, go onto the Blue OS Museum channel and see some of the batshit marketing they've tried in the past. You know, it's honestly very comparable to how Windows is on Twitter or whatever, and now Blue Sky right now. It's just,
I forget where the exit is on this
you know,
map.
there was like
I think I know where it is.
They had a series they did. It was called Microsoft Extreme. I shit you not. Like, in the very first episode they did, they decided, the first thing they were going to deem extreme is a Barney the Dinosaur product.
Oh god, yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. I could imagine. So extreme! They're gonna hug it out with Barney.
Hug it out.
Pretty much. Apparently,
Sully
Sully learned that apparently people are managing to get Windows 7 working with DirectX 12 games.
Well, I don't do that kind of gaming, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't do very much of that
actually,
either.
we
I
should
mean,
change the map by now.
yeah, Z's trying to find the exit. Why did they gotta make exits so complicated?
Whoever made this map, I'm not going to bust them, but man, why would you have to make it complicated? Should be more relevant than this, you know?
I wonder if it's in the BFG room, or maybe not. No, it's just slime. Yeah, that's the other part of the meta, is finding the fucking exit.
Yeah. Apparently so. Well, look, I mean, I probably should have specified that time limit there. Worst case scenario, we might just exit out and restart back to map 06.
Right.
Oh.
Is this... Like, are you sure this isn't, like, the last map in the WAD?
No, this is actually... There's actually 32 levels in this WAD.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a whole set. What we could do, actually... Actually, we could just go ahead and exit off and then restart the multiplayer session. Might as well.
Alright, well, I guess that's... Yeah, so...
Oh gosh, this is the map with the rather... basically it's like a song, either from Megadeth or Metallica, but for some reason, the end... Oh, it's Slayer, my bad, actually. The end of the midis is like, has this one long-ass note at the end. It's kind of... Oh,
that's the exit?
Apparently this next map is called Brown War, which is a reference to...
Rockets.
Oh gosh, I have 50 rockets too.
Yeah, I have music turned off on my end, so...
Right, I think I only have Sound Blaster music. Sully says, but like the only real difference between 7 and 10 are UWP support that only Microsoft uses. Oh yeah.
What even is that? It's like some kind of a programming API that was trying to be something, but it was like nothing. I don't know. I don't give a shit.
The funny part is I've heard that I think Xbox One and other consoles after that make use of UWP. They also, each UWP they run are actually just virtual machines for whatever reason. It's kind of funny. So the Xbox One is like running virtual machines and whatnot, specialized. At least from what I've heard. Oh gosh. Microsoft keeps trying to make UWP happen. It's not going to happen though. Well, yeah, because the Win32 application pretty much so standardized that everybody's practically using it. I
mean, there's pretty much no sense of direction in regards to Windows anymore. You know, I think there's just no interest in actually developing it as a real product anymore. It's just more of an advertisement engine now.
Oh, yeah. Microsoft's marketing campaign.
And I think that has so much to do with, you know, after the failure of Windows 8, when it turned out people don't really want like a half-baked tablet interface on their desktop computers. There was like a gigantic run of automated layoffs within the company. And
I will also, not to interrupt here, but Boyd said, besides, WWE and AEW is better.
I don't watch wrestling.
I mean, Microsoft owns one. It's called Universal Wrestling Programming.
Oh, is that what it is?
I assume so.
Yeah, they would definitely be. Yeah, they've been like trying to get into like the mass media market for a long time. Like for instance, I think MSNBC was like a joint venture between Microsoft and NBC.
Oh yeah, I think I heard something about that before, like the name. Boyd says...
Yeah, it's more just like a news channel, not really much relevance here.
Right. I wonder if MSN had anything to do as well, you know, with connection-wise.
That's what I assumed as well.
Right.
But I guess it just stands for Microsoft NBC.
Interesting. Boyd says not into wrestling either, but I just thought of it for no reason. Lol. Could have some custom music playing. Musica. I mean,
yeah, just the entire Musica sound scheme on loop.
Right. It's just like Alice in Chains, the song. Unreal Tournament OST would fit well. Oh, yeah, the funny part is I used to be, like, playing random music during my streams, on a playlist. Like,
yeah, I think I remember something like that.
Right, yeah, like, I used to do that, like, back in 2021 and 2022. It started dying down, like, last year or two. Where I just focus on having...
there's, like, a very nice selection of music in there.
Right. Oh. So, yeah, it reminds me here. Boyd says, what are Daki and Fuji's favorite aesthetic? Good question. Oh yeah, that...
Flat. No.
It's a house. Pass me the aux cord. All I got is an XLR cord.
I don't really know what I'd say there. Oh, there goes your armor.
Yep. My house, not one.
Oh, my... Wait, is this? No, it's probably not. I don't think it...
I mean, it's basically resembles of someone's house, I'm assuming.
Yeah, maybe.
But I wonder, they got like a...
It kind of looks like a pretty reasonable layout for a house.
Right.
Got a swimming pool in there.
Pool.
And...
Melon's Secret Castle.
See, I think I heard that. Is that like some game, I think?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that, but I recall
I
like...
think it was from...
8 hour of Sun Pet songs. Zune Pet. We even got some dead tomatoes outside. Oh boy, dead tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. Who remembers that? Fuck.
Too slow.
I encountered that strange oddity on the engine. Like if you shoot projectiles on areas where the sky and walls are, the projectiles just usually disappear.
And the shed has a chainsaw in it.
Ruby. And the car in this map uses one of the doors and behind the start area of E1M1. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Oh boy. Oh man, what are you doing with those tomatoes? What did they ever do to you? Oh yeah, reminds me, when he took over that YouTube channel, which used to be called Razorback Legacy, right? He got rebranded, right?
Yeah. I'm having a hard time following.
Definitely. The theme song is stuck in my head. Yeah, I'm like reading the chat a little bit too. Gotta love respawning, then dying again less than a second later. Oh yeah, good old spawn kills.
I saw like a Doom Deathmatch tournament at QuakeCon. I think it was kind of crazy how someone just turned a dire situation into a draw because of those bad spawns.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Was it like, when was that?
I think it was in QuakeCon 2013.
Oh. Ow.
Are we exiting or?
Oh, I guess so.
There's a computer in the bedroom.
Computer.
Oh yeah, you hit the bed and it.
Refinery. Oh, this is a rift map. Oh boy. I think this also was featured in the Ultimate Twango. So this is like the Doom 2 version of this. Oh man, it's dark.
What the hell is this? And of course it's a. Oh, you can at least shoot those bullets, but and this isn't a good map. This is because Rift made it.
I know, right? Meanwhile, Boyd says Dravenor is the best Quake server. Oh yeah, and this
I am running game servers. I've got the same ones I had on the Razorback server. I've got Unreal and Jedi Outcast as well. I just haven't really ever bothered making pages pointing that out because it's just kind of.
Right. Speaking of Dravenor, I do remember like looking at the website too, and they said something about this sardine engine.
Yeah. Right. Oh, it's Doom 2 level 1 at night now.
Yeah, with Rise of the Triad music.
I don't know anything about music. I never listened to a single music in my life.
It's just pure silence. Only sound effects. Imagine if the first cell got music soundtrack.
I think someone actually had made wanted to make like some music for a trailer for the game.
Oh right, yeah.
No, I guess it just doesn't really fit what I'd be thinking of.
Oh.
I think it was when the game had first come out.
Right.
But I don't know. I just I don't really care that much about the game anymore. It's it's kind of just there. But like, after playing a number of real STGs, like the aforementioned Dragon Spirit, I mean, I kind of just feel like, there's a lot of things which the first cell is like really deficient in. Like it's not really so fleshed out. I mean, the whole thing was made in just 3 months, so
So basically, kind of like a practice kind of project.
Yeah, it was in a way. It just so happened to be something which could be called a complete project, but I mean,
Ow.
it's just a. You really can't have that much flexibility with the twin stick genre. It's just.
Ow.
It's just. You can like do some things with it. I mean, I guess the idea was to like make it more reminiscent of an early 80s game, which would have been pretty appropriate for the IBM XT, but if I really want to get wild, I think I wouldn't want to be relying on this format long term, and so I think you had showed me like some screenshots of Fast Doom.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
And
the text
I
mode and
just
everything.
Noticed, see, as I pretty much programmed the first cell to run in text mode, I'd know how the video data is laid out. There's like a for each character, it's got 2 bytes. One is one contains the actual character, and another byte, I think it's the high byte, it contains the actual what is it? The actual oh, it says monsters in it.
Wait, what the fuck? I didn't realize there were monsters in this level. But yeah, this is server room on fire with an Easter egg.
But wow, they got tons of them.
Oh Jesus! God damn! I didn't realize they put monsters on there.
But
But yeah, I'm gonna try to show you the Easter egg if I can find it.
What is this Easter egg?
You have to follow me here. See if I can find it here. It should be somewhere right over right. Did you lose track?
I have no idea where to go.
Alright, so
I've got the stream on, it's muted.
Right. So the one area I'm in right here would be
let me tab here.
Apologies for getting intense, but I love Jedi Outcast. We're in the void. I mean, yeah, well, since you got the stream loaded up.
Yeah.
Rift Pug. Yeah. It ain't a Rift-related map without that Easter egg, yeah. Rift's face. So apparently Sully says Jedi Outcast is so good, the multiplayer especially. Oh god, a chain gunner. Oh, they got more.
So what I was gonna say is that like there's, in that character data, there's the 2 bytes. One is like the character itself, and the hell did the monsters respawn here?
Uh-oh. I have a feeling because this is deathmatch mode, they probably, and monsters are enabled, they can respawn? This is like gonna be, this is gonna be a mashup. Every person for himself, including demons.
Yeah, this is just getting so hard to follow by now. It's just...
God damn. I didn't even realize they had monsters on this map.
Yeah, the monsters are respawning.
Oh, damn it.
So... I don't think this really works in practice.
I remember, like, the people at id Software, like, back in November 1993 would do this shit, too. where they were playing like East 1 and 5
to
and
be
shit.
fair, you know, the groundwork hadn't really been established for
Right, ow.
for death matches at that point. You know, it's kind of, I think it was all Romero's idea actually. He came up with that idea and it got programmed in there, and because he was so big on that, and it ended up becoming a huge success. But in order to really get there, they kind of had to figure out what works and what doesn't, and say, okay, yeah, I don't think we want monsters in here. It's just a distraction.
Right.
So,
Also, Sully says, who is this guest, by the way? This is the first time hearing them. Oh, this is Kuji, who's most remembered for videos like Hardcore Windows and Bass Use Land Party and
no, I think you got it kind of backwards. I think it was the video they were biggest on was like what was it? MVC 206.mpeg and Kermit, the #1 Burger King manager, $80 an hour.
Oh yeah, and offline.
We should just change the map. This is a mess.
Let's find a level that doesn't have monsters. Find the exit. Oh, there's a zombie. Although the timer hits itself already, but god damn, I didn't even realize that. Oh, there it is. There we go.
Hey. You have won! Your victory has enabled humankind to
Evacuate EA.
evacuate EA.
Yes. Sully responds with 2 wave emojis and laugh emoji.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think, oh man, I lost track of where I was again. But
Ah, shit.
yeah, what I was gonna say is, there's the second byte in a character has the color data. It's in 2 halves because each character can have one of 16 possible colors. One of them, like one half of it is for the background, the other for the foreground, and basically what I had seen in there, the way Fastdoom was using it, was using those foreground and background colors along with a half block character, basically to effectively create 2 pixels in 1 character space. And that got me really interested because I've done some experiments with assembly programming where it'd be like, I tried, displaying a graphic in CGA, EGA, and VGA. EGA was most definitely the hardest one to do because its video memory is planar. Which
I always thought it said planar.
Cause its EGA video output to be slower than you'd want it to be. It's faster when reading, but it's kind of a mess. It's not just perfectly flat like it is with VGA and to a certain extent CGA, where the memory is interlaced, but it's just kind of more consistent, I would say. But if you're programming in text mode, that rule doesn't apply. You know, it's just going to see them all the same no matter which video card you use. And on top of that, I mean, text mode, since you're not dealing with as much data every second, it might, you know, still yet be faster. So I'm wondering if I should use that technique there with, you know, how fast Doom did it to, you know, intently create some graphics, some sprites and backgrounds around this. Obviously, you know, it'd still be like only an 80 by 50 display, so the graphics would have to be very minimalistic. But I think they could get some interesting results out of it.
Very interesting results.
And for that matter, I think, you know, the kind of game that I would want to make would be more reminiscent of something that I would actually want to play. It would be like a horizontal shooting game.
So basically,
designed
yeah.
around this text mode.
So would it be like shoot 'em up kind of, or like
pretty much.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
I remember like horizontal shooter game I played a while back was called Astrobatics. I remember trying to play through that too, but then I got to a part where it put to a halt. But yeah. So I remember that one time I confused it as an R-type clone because it just was a horizontal. Because horizontal shooter equal R-type clone.
Yeah, I mean it's really just, you know, it's not really like R-type at all. Really, it's
right.
Because with R-type, I mean, it has a very distinguishing mechanic where, you know, you're tossing a force around to fight stuff and block projectiles.
Right.
And so it's very different in that regard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I picked up the Mega Armor at the last second and it carried over.
Oh gosh, yeah. Meanwhile,
I mean, that definitely shows, you know, the charming primitiveness of Doom's Deathmatch. You know, this definitely wouldn't fly in a modern multiplayer game, but it's...
Right. Are there monsters in this level? Nope. I don't think so. Also, Sully says, sounds like it would be perfect for the PC-98.
PC-98?
Yeah, the Japanese computer.
Yeah,
I remember one time I emulated 95, like Windows 95 on a PC-98. I think it was called Nico Project, the second, the emulator. And I tried to run this game from Raven Software called Necrodome on it, and it was laggy. It didn't control well either because of localization on the keyboard. But yeah, for the horizontal shmup, yeah, that sounds like could be fitting in a way. I guess,
that's what I would want to go with. You know, it'd make the most sense for something like this.
Right.
Because,
I mean, if I had the programming knowledge required, I could probably make something, you know, using VGA graphics, 256 colors, and designed for 486 computers.
Yeah, that's something that I want to do eventually as well. It's just, I don't think I'd be ready to do so.
Yeah.
And, you know, this project that I've been talking about, I might still just do it in 8086 assembly, but I think, you know, once you start getting up to the 486 whatnot, if you're going to be targeting that platform, it makes a lot more sense to just do something like C, and then, you know, program it to use protected mode.
Right.
So you have a flat memory addressing space, makes everything so much easier. Because I've done a bit of work with memory segmentation. It's kind of a bitch.
Yikes. But yeah, like, my struggles with getting into programming is, like, the fundamentals.
Yeah, the hardest part is always going to be getting started, because you can't exactly, just figure out what it is you are going to be able to do or what you want to do until you have. It kind of helps to have, like, some existing problem on hand and say, okay, how can I use programming to solve this? And in my case, it just so happens that I'd be dealing with INF text files in Windows 95 a lot, especially when I was doing remastering work, at least a lot more intensively. I'd need to modify INF files on a frequent basis, and a command line tool could help with some of that. And so I made one. And there was already one out there, but I made my own. I think mine has like a better command line syntax. It feels more sensible in a way. But
yeah, it's like,
it
so
might
far...
not take everything into account so far.
Right. Like, so far I only got around to learning a little bit of variables. Data structures, I mean, maybe like functions to some degree too. Like, what calls these functions.
I was actually struggling with memory allocation in C for a long time, but I think I pretty much got that knocked down by now. It's just, I know I have been needing to make an updated version of it, actually. Basically because, that doesn't really implement any form of memory segmentation for the DOS version right now, because it's all, it's just, it's, so, like, it can't work with anything greater than a 64 kilobyte memory space. And I had been making some speed optimizations in the last version, but it's still kind of bloated, I would say. It really needs a more efficient methodology, I think. And so that's what I'm looking to try doing eventually. It'll probably resume whenever I feel like actually getting back to returning to the Hierma project that I had worked on years ago. It was for... It was... basically a dynamic Windows 9X remastering tool I had worked on, and for a time it wasn't really, it wasn't very well optimized as it was, because it was all just bash scripts back then. And I think now if I were to do it, I try to lean down the scope a lot. It wouldn't be like a stupid live CD. It'd just be a program that, focuses on modifying the Windows setup files and not much more. Create an answer file too. It'd be almost like those other tools they've got for Windows XP and Vista 7 and beyond. It's more specialized for older versions of Windows, basically. That's what I'd be targeting.
Right. Meanwhile, Void said earlier, programming is very challenging from the start because you're essentially thrown to the wolves, left to program for yourself, but you always get better the more you do it.
Yeah. That's the big thing. You know, once you actually know how to go about things, it starts to get a lot easier. And you know, even when you have the programming experience to back you up, you got like some kind of legacy skill there.
Right.
Still, when you're learning a new syntax, it can just throw you a curveball. And that was the exact situation that I had ran into the first time I had to start, you know, as I've been developing Sardine Engine. You know, I've always wanted to make it modular and well structured. You know, Razorback was kind of, you know, it had plenty of functions, but it was also kind of just, you know, all the new stuff was just shoehorned in there, kind of. And it, you know, if you looked at the code, it would look kind of sloppy. But that's what this project is aiming to address, really. So, the thing about PHP is that it has like two distinct syntaxes to it. There is the traditional procedural style, which, you know, many of PHP's built-in functions rely on. Actually, I should tune down my... But...
oh yeah, you noticed the MIDI there?
Oh, no.
Oh wait, yeah, you don't have music on.
Yeah, it's just the sound effects are pretty loud on my end, so... But... But...
Yeah.
You know, basically... Oh, the timer.
Yeah. Unmazed.
Unmazed.
Ow.
It also has an object-oriented syntax that you can use, and that's what, you know, that's what many people recommend you use for the, like, more complex projects. They say, you know, you could, it better facilitates reusing code. You could do it with the procedural style as well, but I guess, you know, object-oriented is more finely tuned for this.
Oh yeah, that's the word I heard been thrown around, especially for like Unreal Script and whatnot. Like it was like object-oriented and stuff.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but
Right.
you know, the thing is, when I was first converting the syntax to object-oriented, you know, I think it was like several months ago. It might have been sometime in June, actually. You know, it was hell trying to grasp all the concepts of it, like the MVC structure, you know, it's the model, the view, and the controller. I had only more recently started to get a better grasp on it, and, you know, that's why, you know, the Sardine engine has been going through a lot of rewriting to make sure that, you know, it is using a very sensible structure. I mean, literally the motto is inspired from like an otherwise super boring Windows 95 train cast where, you know, some guy named Mickey, who gave like a very corporate presentation. It was geared more towards the executives, and there was like this this PowerPoint slide or something with some very bombastic text. It said, "What's needed? Structure." It's like the kind of, I guess the best comparison I could draw with that is to a scene in Star Wars The Phantom Menace where, the guys are at Coruscant and they're just talking in the Jedi Council for what seems like an eternity, and then all of a sudden, Jar Jar's just screaming, "Weezer going home!" And my impression of that was so bad that it's going to ruin the entire stream for all of eternity. But,
oh man.
God damn it.
Damn.
God damn it, Productions.
Then Steve Ballmer breaks into the room yelling, "Developers, developers, developers. Order today."
Order now, order now, order now, order now. Shut up!
WebSmosh advertised Windows 12.
And I think they did like a parodies of some computers at one point. Yeah, they actually had the Windows XP startup sound in one of their intros. But
Void says,
yeah,
what?
I actually did see some of their newer movies. They were pretty good, I would say.
Ow.
But I think they're kind of not doing them right now. So.
Oh yeah. They are kind of past their prime, right?
Well, actually, I would say, their quality is like drastically improved.
Ah.
Now with their, it's like, they have the traditional skits they're doing. I mean, part of it is that now they have like a lot, like way more manpower, and they're also not being controlled by some corrupt corporation anymore.
Right.
So, after having taken ownership of their own channel again, it's like, they got all these, I would say, I mean, you definitely can't necessarily beat the charm of, like, their 2007 skits, but I would say some of their videos that they've made recently are some of the best that they have ever done.
Huh. That's what we say, folks.
I mean, it's definitely
never fall into the corporations, otherwise your quality drastically lowers.
Yeah, I mean, they just happen to take back full control of the operation, and they do what they want to do, and
right.
It's, they have like so much experience under their belt now. They were on YouTube since 2005, which is like super early. I mean, I didn't know about this site until I learned about it from my older brother in like, I don't know, summer of 2006.
I found out about YouTube on that same year myself.
I was already kind of getting into video streaming a little before then.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I think the first site I discovered was called Stupid Videos.
I remember Google videos as well.
Yeah, that too. That was a pretty good place.
And then Google shut that down once they took over YouTube or some shit.
Yeah, they kept it around for a while, but there was definitely a conflict of interest there, and YouTube had much stronger brand recognition, so they made the natural choice.
Void says, I found out about YouTube since 2005 because I remember my brother showing me a week after it first launched with only a few videos.
A week after it launched? I mean, that that doesn't sound quite credible, but I mean, we are kind of internet elite, so I mean, there's probably some reason for it.
Oh, and also, there's also, like, let's see. I remember, like, hearing people saying that YouTube originally started as a dating site.
There's a lot of testimonies regarding, its origins that are kind of scattered about. Some were saying it was founded to see if anyone could find a copy of the 2004 Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction. Do you remember that happening? I mean, I didn't even see it myself because I don't watch sports, but that when I first heard about it, like years after the fact, I guess it kind of caught my interest. It's kind of like, oh yeah, this sounds pretty funny. Like, got a little bit of exposure on national television for like half a second, and they cut away, and they've been trying to cover it up.
Somebody remembers that,
controversial
apparently.
at the time.
According to Void, her brother's been on the internet since 1991.
Huh.
Oh, holy cow.
Yeah, that would be pretty hardcore, because I think the internet started being commercialized in 1989, and it was I'm not sure exactly what all the applications they would have been using on the internet before the World Wide Web. I know there was FTP. I think that's been around since the 70s, actually. And email for sure. I think I actually found a printed copy of an email from 1991 in my grandma's house.
Huh.
But, I mean, America Online was certainly around back then.
But the funny part is, like, I didn't get into emails until, like, maybe close to 2011 when I registered my first Hotmail account.
Yeah, I think I had my first email address in 2003 when we switched over to Comcast broadband internet at the old house that I used to live at.
Right.
It was we were coming from like dial-up internet, which was pretty much what everyone had at the time, and we just I mean, you don't know how huge of a deal it was to get away from dial-up internet, because back then we had to deal with like, okay, I'm going on the internet, you can't use the phone for a while. It was kind of a problem because they shared the same phone line. It was literally, you had to make a phone call to get online. Whoa.
That's what I call BFG tracers.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know it was still active there. I should have just hid in that corner for a little bit longer.
Boyd asks how long you've been using the internet.
I would say about as early as 2002, I would say.
Yeah, in my case, the earliest I've ever used the internet.
I think that would be the most reasonable guess, because, I mean, I got my first The first computer I remember using was from June 2000, I suppose, and it's at AMD Athlon 650 megahertz, Windows 98 second edition, and it was on an Asus K7M board. I've still got those, but currently it's sitting in a different case. So
I know for me, my first time I've ever been on the internet was like 2005, I think. It was on my mother's office machine, which was a Dell Dimension 3000. Oh boy. And then sometime later I got my computer in my room, which was a Dell Dimension L800R or something.
I remember I used to, before I was on YouTube, when I was starting to make my first videos there, which sucked balls, by the way.
Right, even my first video sucked too back in the day.
Yeah, we are all pretty much starting out like that.
Right.
We think we hit it out of the park, and we just look back, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But,
But unfortunately, my first channel is no longer around. I don't have the videos for it anymore either.
I don't really have any of my old channels anymore, so...
Right. Sully says, oh man, there's something wild remembering how connecting over dial was dangerous if you didn't check the phone number first.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about that, but I could see how it could... Oh, long distance, yeah, that was a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Increasing phone bills.
I remember at the schools I was at where, they were all landline, and, if we had to dial long distance, said, yeah, you have to dial 9 first. And I just remember feeling so paranoid that I was accidentally going to dial 911 and get in deep shit over it.
Oh god. That's a very interesting internet service provider.
Yeah. Apparently, landline services were supposed to be terminated in 2022, but apparently they still exist in my state and several others. And I think there's a landline phone jack still available in my dad's basement. I don't even know if it works, but I guess, I could try next time I'm over there.
I should definitely get around to seeing about emulating dial-up, kind of, or get, like, either a VoIP thing, or...
The way I did it, I got an actual, I think it was a asterisk clone card. It was basically its own isolated phone network and a PCI card. And it basically, you could use whatever phones or dial-up modems you wanted with it. And,
did you ever try modem gaming on that too?
I don't think I have, but...
I remember, looking up videos about VoIP or VoIP, or,
yeah, that's what this is relying on.
Right,
basically.
and, apparently people tried...
The only real drawback here is that, you're only limited to about 30 kilobits per second as opposed to the theoretical maximum of 56.
Oh yeah, so it'd be like a 30k dial-up speed or something.
Yeah.
This
and
is kind of like a little bit higher than that.
The way 56 kilobyte or V90 modems worked is that, you know, in order to connect at that maximum speed, what they would have to do is ask if the other end is a digital line, and you know, there'd be like ISDN or something that would be serving. It would be digital on the ISP's end, and then it would be serving to an analog customer. And it can only be like one way. It has to be digital to analog. And so if it's like, if you're trying to...
Wow.
So like, even if the conditions were perfectly ideal to establish a 56 kilobit connection over from analog to analog, it just wouldn't do it because, you know, the V90 standard has to assume that it's connecting to a digital line, otherwise it'll just cap it. So, I mean, I had thought about the idea of trying to get 56K set up, but there's so little documentation on it, and the equipment that I need to get is so obscure and expensive that it just wouldn't be worth trying to dump it into some silly little project where, oh yeah, I could connect to your silly little intranet for like a slightly faster speed. You know, what's the point?
But yeah, my novelty of wanting to try out dial-up is mainly on modem games. You know, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I did actually recently test a dial-up connection to my internal copy of Razorback I got on my own server that I just have for my own private network. I connected to that and it loaded reasonably fast for a dial-up modem.
Huh. I do know
so
the closest
I got that optimization thing done pretty well.
Right.
But, you know, this was well after the fact that, you know, the actual site had shut down, so, I mean, it's kind of just, it's just something like, hey, yeah, it can work pretty well under there. But the main reason why I even got that modem set up to begin with was, it had everything to do with, I was, one of the things that I wanted to do when I was, patching up some of the hardcore Windows videos, I wanted to basically remake one of the intros for hardcore Windows 98. It was the second segment where it was literally just loading the title card over a dial-up connection.
Oh my god. Not to interrupt, but apparently I found an arch file on this level.
What the hell? Why do they put monsters in these?
I don't know, honestly. This is either the problem. I mean, I'm assuming it might be just, you know, somebody while developing Dwango 1 of all things, decided to just dump out unused content for people to work with developing this WAD. Ow, where's the exit on this? This is a red brick. Ah. There. It just has exit.
How long have we been going on here for anyway?
Oh, this game session?
It's like 2 hours?
It's getting close to 2 hours, yes. Stream time-wise.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're gonna be reaching a third hour in a row. We'll
No, I don't
probably.
think I could do something.
Right.
It's definitely gotten pretty long by now.
Ah.
Oh no. If there's something else we could do on here, I know.
Let's see.
It's hard for me to like follow the chat when I'm doing stuff.
Right.
Is
According
there's the
to
arch file again.
there we go again. Yeah. But yeah,
yeah, this is nonsense. Oh, I found a soul sphere and a shotgunner behind a bookshelf.
I mean, I think we could also do Unreal Deathmatch one of these days. As well.
Maybe I just.
Right.
Oh, there's a plasma rifle behind the bed.
Either that or Unreal Tournament, but yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty large for a.
Yeah, that's one of my least favorite maps on this one.
Inspectors, yay.
Yeah, I had to fight those too. Void says I'd be happy to join in an Unreal Deathmatch if I fixed Unreal. Alright, you've been having some issues playing that last time.
Oh.
Oh, finally.
Somehow found the exit.
Engine 3000.
Somehow.
Huh.
But it made no indication as such.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that map was one of my least favorites.
Really needs like a refinement, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to see how Neon Maya goes whenever it comes out. I have one of my maps that I've been making for it. The map is titled "It's Purple" because Ancient Aliens textures tend to be purple or green. Yeah, for those who do not know, Ancient Aliens is a not to be confused with the TV show about conspiracy theories. It's about it's a Doom wad. Probably it might have been inspired by Ancient Aliens. Who knows? Ah.
Hit by a rising pillar.
Yikes. So, Void, while she was having issues with Unreal, she thinks it might be the NVIDIA control panel or the Alienware command center switching presets. That's weird, but yeah,
The last NVIDIA card I owned was GTS 450.
For me, it was the 1050 Ti.
That was from 2010.
Yeah, and that graphics card I used to have is from like 2015, I think, or close to it. However, I made the switch to AMD graphics card-wise like last year or so. I now have a 7600 XT.
I have a 6650.
Oh boy. Yeah, the graphics card I have has 16 gigabytes worth of GDDR6 memory. And it's from 2024 as well. That graphics card's new. Whereas the processor I'm using, which is an i9 10850, actually, yeah, 10850K, might be from 2022 or 2023, I'm assuming, or might be a little bit older. But definitely an improvement compared to the 4th generation i7. Oh shit. Meanwhile, I'm using my what's now a backup computer, which is the previous rig, except it's
both of my computer. What is your?
The specs on the one machine I'm using right now for the stream is yeah, i7 4th gen. I think it's like a 4790. And a 1050 Ti finally was using the Intel graphics for a little bit, but yeah, it's got Windows 10, of course. I thought about running Linux on it, maybe one day.
You should definitely try it, at least. It's...
Right. I mean, not on my main rig, but on a different computer for the time being. At least until I finally get to a situation where, I'm able to easily switch it to as a main OS. Either that, or just get to a point where I can actually just dual boot. But I definitely wouldn't use my streaming PC with Linux because of the VTuber stuff and the capture card situation. It's data path. I use data path graphics card, capture card thingy.
Yeah, both of my computers are that I've got right here. They're both 9950X Ryzen.
Also, Void says she has an Alienware Aura 16 as well.
I made a post a while ago on, how is using them in like a cluster for video encoding. I've actually got the second computer running right now. It's re-encoding the latest revision of the first hardcore Windows video right now. It's just been taking a lot longer than I was hoping for it to to get ready.
Right.
Because of it's going through a transition from 4:3 to widescreen again.
Yeah, boy.
You are at the corrupt.
I thought this map looked interesting, honestly. But yeah, meanwhile, oh fuck.
Oh, I survived because of my soul sphere.
It reminds me of a meme I did that it is pretty dark, apparently. So there was this, I'm not sure if you knew about the Tesla incident, right?
No, I'm
No.
not sure which one. Is it? It doesn't have to do with the car.
Yeah, the Tesla Cybertruck.
Oh boy.
Apparently,
The
just
Cybertruck. I think I've heard about that thing. Cutting the muscles of Ooh. With the automatic trunk.
I guess what happened recently, from what I've heard, okay, so apparently it blew up at some hotel, apparently, out of the blue, and footage came out about it. That shit, that explosion, for whatever reason, just looks like something out of a YouTube poop for some reason. Someone said. Yeah, that's how.
I can't think of a more damning insult for a car. And a rocket just hit me because of the gate closing on me.
So apparently people are making memes out of that explosion.
When did this happen?
Very recently.
Wow. Yeah, I'm surprised the government doesn't just shut down Tesla at this point. I mean, this is egregious negligence. A car does not do that. There's plenty more EV manufacturers out on the market, and I haven't heard very much of, spontaneous combustion to this degree. I mean, it might be a thing still. I mean, certainly, being comprised of high-power lithium batteries, it's got to be pretty dangerous technology.
Right, and these are electronic cars, right?
Yeah, they are. All Teslas are electric powered.
Right.
But you don't just let this happen on such a wide scale.
Yeah, what also confuses me a lot is, from what I've heard, from what I've seen from the footage, it looks like fireworks are coming out too. Or what looks like fireworks during the explosion.
I mean, it seems like that would be a thing that would happen. I mean, it's you know, maybe because you know it's kind of you know, if it'd be melting, you turn into some kind of liquid and it just flare up and fly all over.
Oh boy.
I could see that. I could see something like, it would be almost like a volcanic eruption, I guess.
Probably. Yeah, according to Solely, OMG, okay, to that Cybertruck explosion, it's most likely a dude tried to make it as an IED using fireworks and gasoline in the trunk bed. Oh, so that's what's happened? From what I've heard in some other sources, I heard somebody died during that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, there is always the possibility, but you do have to keep in mind that, I mean, I haven't looked at this story myself, but the thing about Tesla, I mean, we know who runs that company, and, you know, he's garnered quite a bit of a cult, so, I mean, they could try to be spinning up stories to defend it, so...
Solely, apparently,
you have to take things with a grain of salt.
Oh, yeah,
One
definitely.
thing I do know for sure is that the Cybertruck is, like...
Mr. Crunchy.
very dangerous. I mean... like, there's the thing with the automatic doors and trunks. You know, they lack some of the most basic safety mechanisms in there, because, you know, the metal is just ridiculously sharp on the edges. And that...
Yeah, according to Solely,
that basically, you know, has led to some people's fingers being disabled due to certain accidents, and you know, some fool actually tried to, you know, prove him wrong, and guess what happened?
His hands no longer worked because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is not something a car should do ever. I mean, we had a car with automatic doors in 2004, and it was never anywhere as much of a threat as this.
Right.
It was a Dodge Grand Caravan, I think.
Was it like an electronic car, or was it analog?
No, this is 2004, so I mean, electric cars were hardly out there. They probably were to some extent, but you know, it's just mostly all gasoline because it's the American way. But,
yeah. Meanwhile, Solely has apparently said, yeah, he deleted himself first. From what apparently, and also followed by, but like, footage looking like a YouTube poop is such a sad way to go. Yeah, because apparently, I mean, even I couldn't resist on this one, but I also made an Unreal Tournament version of that explosion.
Yeah,
dark humor.
This is just getting me thinking of how some violent bus crash in China or wherever was turned into a meme.
Oh, yeah.
I think even you made something out of it. Like
Marathon.
Yeah,
Broad Blast Event Core.
This is the degeneracy that our society is sunk into, where we're just making memes out of bus crashes.
Yeah, that's fucked up. God damn it. But yeah. But yeah, I guess I recall on the topic of electronic cars, I think from what I've heard, they might be they're pushing that, like, a bit too soon from what I've heard, but I could be. I mean, I usually just take a little bit of grain of salt too, on top.
I mean, we probably wouldn't have been in so much of a mess with electronic cars if, they had been introduced to the market more gracefully, but
Right.
the problem is oil lobbyists were just preventing electric cars from taking off so much, and it's only now, more recently, that they've started to catch up.
Ah. But I could imagine power bills could be up the roof too, on top of what I've heard.
I mean, they've got like recharging stations you can go
Right.
to when you're traveling. And I do kind of wonder, how it would work if you're going to be plugging your. I'm not even sure if it is possible to plug your car in at home. I would think it would have to be, because it is electricity, but at the same time, a car is going to take way more energy than something like a laptop or a phone.
Right, or even a refrigerator.
I mean, even the electric lawnmower I'd been using to mow my uncle's lawn, it's nowhere near the kind of power that a car would take.
Oh yeah.
I mean, his lawnmower that I use, it's just a 56-volt battery. That's like roughly half of a standard American outlet. And it packs quite a punch, I'll say. I mean, it mows just as well as a gas lawnmower while being just
Oh god, more
oh
monsters.
no. Another one of these. Yeah, I think
damn.
I think this is getting me bored out of my mind now. This is just,
Even worse is that there's fast projectiles because of the nightmare difficulty, because pickups. Sully said you can do at home charging over 120 volts. It's just really, really slow. Technology Connections has a
that's
really
what I
good
was
video on
thinking,
that.
It'd be really slow,
Right.
That's why they have the commercial charging stations.
I wonder how much it would cost to get that compared to just, getting gas off the car in the gas station or something.
Yeah, I think I'm done with the dooming for tonight.
Yeah, same. A special thanks to Doom Kid for revisions. Gokuma and tech support. The DOSBox Deathmatch Club for helping playtest our levels. Thank you for playing. Twango.
Twango.
Wango.
Oh.
Right.
Speaking of Apple, I certainly have a lot to say about that. I used to be a Mac fanboy back in the day. It's something that I probably look back at with disdain by now, although it was kind of a nice creative platform for a while. It's just not. I mean, their systems have always been ridiculously locked down in a number of ways, and I hate them for that. And they're also kind of inflexible with hardware.
Holy
Yeah, the wallpaper.
Yeah, meow for the railgun.
Yeah, it reminds me of how I used to brand the channel I used to have, before I came up with the maroon whale that, most of the people know this all for now. It used to be Latios, who I guess later also got a railgun.
Hmm.
and then it was the windfish, so called, from Link's Awakening, and then June 2016, I came up with my own whale. So
Oh yeah, the famous maroon whale, maybe.
yeah, that one.
Oh yeah. Hey, yeah, watching the Pokemon stuff on Pluto TV, definitely
They're
looking
like
back at it, like the whole, characters he would draw too, like I could definitely see the inspiration, kind of.
they're like the best and worst based on whose ego needs to be stroked. Um, yeah, Apple. The funny thing is, I had like an iBook G4 that I got in 2003, but I think what really motivated me to switch to Macs entirely for a while had a lot to do with um, overheating issues and like bad power supplies on my PCs that I had back then. Um, like especially the one computer that I had, if I was to try
Yeah,
gaming on there while exporting a movie in Windows Movie Maker, it could just shut down the system instantly, or cause it to get a blue screen of death. And that was a pretty nasty experience to be having to worry about regularly. This is the Pentium 4 era we're talking about here, where everything was ridiculously inefficient.
capacitor plug, my friend.
And so I just figured, yeah, you know what? I've been looking at these get a Mac ads for quite a while now. I'm thinking, I'm pretty convinced, my next computer has to be a Mac. And so one day we went to an Apple store at a mall, and I got myself a black MacBook for like $1,500. Got a Core 2 Duo in there. It just so happened that around this time, just conveniently, Intel CPUs had finally started to get good again, and coincidentally, Apple was struggling to get a PowerBook G5, so they said, okay, you know what, we'll just switch to Intel because their new CPUs are really good, and that was that. And so now, I mean, looking back at it, especially noting my friends' experiences, my friends' very positive experiences with Windows Vista in 2008, I probably could have, you know, asked my uncle, because he was the computer guy at the time. I could have just asked him, hey, maybe, this hardware is kind of faulty. You think maybe we could get some polish to it, maybe a new CPU and motherboard, and then we can upgrade it to Vista, or even just keep it at XP, even. I don't know, but
According to Void, Elon Musk changed his name to Cacius Maximus. Apparently,
hack!
Cash.
Hack! Ha ha ha! Hack! Wow, that's so good.
I know, right? Solly says,
Like,
"Ugh,
didn't
rich guys in the world and still not having enough money for any sense."
I mean, fucking Cack has pretty much lost all relevance in my mind by now. I don't know, maybe I'm just like really falling behind on meme culture, but I'm pretty sure, you know, it's one of the lamest things you can say nowadays. It's like trying to say, or it's like trying to do old school caption memes involving Success Kid or something. Let's say that, you know. I'm just thinking of that promotional video Microsoft did for their Teams program, where you can now send memes, and someone said, wow, these are really old memes. Can't you come up with anything else? And Microsoft's all like, dude, they're vintage.
Old school.
Yeah. You know, if they were actually trying, they would have thrown Hotel Mario in there. You know, they could have easily, like, struck a deal with Nintendo and Philips. They've got the money for it. But,
Mario
their
meme.
Twitter account's already passing around, you know, crying Pikachu memes. Like,
Oh yeah.
That Windows on Twitter is like the one of the weirdest things I had ever seen in my life. Yo,
Probably doing all
compared
that
to
nostalgia bait stuff too.
compared to other corporate accounts, which are either like, you know, they're either really bland, or they're trying to be so relatable, or they're like doing savage marketing like Wendy's.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Microsoft is like one of its own breeds, where it's just, it acts so childlike. Yo, it's just always glossing about its remember the days of the Windows XP Bliss wallpaper, and it just does it in the worst way possible.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
hey, let's go and have a picnic with our Microsoft applications. Whee! There was like a poll they had about, hey, what do you want to Alt F4, and what relationship do you want to Alt F4? And someone says, I want to Alt F4 my relationship with Windows. And then they reply with, but why? And they respond with that gif of Pikachu crying. That was like so fucking pathetic. Like, this is all they can do now. Because, you know, like I say, they laid off much of their staff that was key to making Windows work, and now this is all they can do about, you know, the fact that it's a pile of shit now.
Void says, I just remember the video Fuji made about F Dell, and I own a Dell PC now. Don't kill me, please. Oh yeah, we're talking about Alienware, which is owned by Dell.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's why you really gotta learn to build your own computers. I mean,
Right, when you get to that point, as well.
I think that's what really restored my faith in PCs, was just learning how to build them, along with trying out Ubuntu back in the day. I had 9.04. It was pretty fun. And, you know, first PC I built, it was in 2009. It was a Core 2 quad, I think at 2.33 gigahertz.
Oh yeah, apparently Void said, oh I tried, I am physically unable to because I'm weak. Yeah,
that
yeah, like, you probably could have heard about, like, her weight as well, like, and her height, too, on top.
yeah, I haven't heard anything about it, but
Right. I'll let Void speak for that.
yeah, I mean, I was thinking, it's not, but then again, like there is the case,
Oh,
which
yeah,
could
and
potentially be heavy.
oh, yeah,
Like
and the heatsink,
I've
too.
got a couple of, oh yeah, heat sinks have gotten really heavy too.
Right, so Void says, she is 4'5", currently
Ooh,
69 pounds.
ooh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, let
What did
that
I
sink
say
in.
about that?
Yeah.
That. Hmm.
Yeah, like, when I first heard about it, I was a little bit concerned as well. At first. But the height probably makes a bit more sense, I think. Ow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even then, I think. I don't know. I just haven't really witnessed enough of it myself to really give some kind of an answer.
Right. I remember there was a time period where, like, before my diet, it was like 333 pounds and, like, almost 6 feet tall or some shit. Or just about there. Nowadays, I went down in my, down in weight as well, like, up to, like, somewhere near 200 pounds at one point.
Yeah.
And it was, like, all that happened in, like, in a year and a half, too, on top.
Yeah, I might have been gaining a little bit of weight myself,
Well,
but
yeah, Christmas break
it's not
happened as well.
from from all the times I've checked, it doesn't seem to be an extreme case. I mean,
Right.
I've only mostly just been drinking water and milk, so I mean, it's not so bad.
Uh, I mean, I might have
Um,
gained a bit of weight, too, like, last time I checked it was like 240 or 50 pounds, probably because of Christmas break, so I might be back on dieting like by the end of this week eventually. Which I assume could last probably a month or two. At least I'm assuming. But who knows? Void says I had multiple people say it's unbelievable when they pick me up they immediately feel it. Huh. Yeah, I never saw you in person at all, but so I really can't say much for certain. But I do remember, like, let's see. I do know, speaking of heights,
what the fuck?
I want to go eat at Heart Attack Grill. It's in my dream of all my life.
I've heard of that place exactly once, like back when I think it was Nicocado was
Avocado?
posting the videos of himself, doing the mukbangs, like
Oh,
really
yeah.
like 5,000 calorie stuff, but it was there was like an interesting development in that recently. Have you heard about that? It turns out like I guess he must have like just pre-recorded. He recorded those videos like years ago, and then
Oh, yeah.
he made a new video of himself having lost all that weight,
Right.
and I guess he has a pet bird now as well, and
That's kind of a crazy move there, too, actually.
yeah, apparently he was just making use of the you know he had dried up his supply of those fat freakout videos and almost, and he it turned out he was very well on track with a healthier diet. So it's a very confusing story that I haven't followed very much, but I
Hmm.
guess he was making use of that scheduling feature, huh?
Right.
But
Uh, Alright. 3D bedroom.
uh oh,
Yes. But yeah,
he got like two Voodoo 2s on separate shelves.
yeah. Yeah, that was kind of temporary. I was meant to like put more on this 3D bedroom. And there's also a poster of Daki.
Should make you a poster of Grayfish or something. I don't know.
That'd be funny. Uh, but yeah, see here. I am using one as my work PC at the moment. Oh, right, the mini PC stuff. I remember, like, a friend of mine was talking about this Intel Nook or something. Um, for mini PCs, basically.
I I had been wanting to try to build something in the mini ITX form factor before. I think I'd been considering, building one for my dad. It's um what is it? Yeah, just a mini ITX PC, which he's got like a fairly recent laptop right now, but I mean, it's got Windows 11, and I wanted to like preload Linux Mint on this computer that I'd build for him. And he'd be coming from the last desktop computer he had was from 2005. It had a Pentium D in it. This is like one of the worst CPUs ever made,
Oh, yeah.
and he was just sticking with that for so many years. And from there, but maybe it was either 2005 or 2006 that he may have gotten it. I don't quite recall, but
Hmm.
I feel like it it probably had to have been 2005 because that was also the year that I got my own Pentium 4 computer, which was custom built. So yeah, um, for sure. I mean, getting him a new computer for a new desktop computer could really run so many circles around the old one by now. And with USB C, sure, that's becoming a pretty big thing now. I've got several of those devices myself. It's uh, it's gonna be quite a while before um, it really takes over everything. There's because it seems like it is more designed around high bandwidth, and so it might be a little bit more expensive to implement compared to like type A connectors, but I think it could there's certainly a lot of potential with it. Actually, my one of my 4K monitors has a type C connector. You could get it can uh, display output from a type C port like natively.
Hmm. Reminds me about Type C thank God that phones are that they moved to the USB Type C, because I remember like micro USBs being so finicky.
Yeah, there's like I remember back when there was like so many different connect types of connectors for phones. They're just all proprietary, not just Apple. Everyone was coming up with their own. I think Sony had this weird like snap-in connector for their phones,
Hmm.
and now I think even the iPhones now are just Type C from what I've heard, the new ones.
Hmm. Oh boy. Apparently the bandwidth is so good that apparently Sully's getting like a Type C power adapter for the NES that apparently Sully's rebuilding.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Type C apparently has so much, not only just bandwidth, but it can also draw a lot more power. Usually it'd be 30 watts, but it could be up to 100 from what I've heard, maybe even higher depending on how it goes. But um, it's definitely quite an interesting connector. I just hope that we're not going to have another nightmare of varied adapters for things like we've been having with USB in the past. What USB was supposed to solve, but ultimately you got like so many different connectors that all adapt to the same Type A connector. It was a fucking mess. Just terrible.
Yep.
But
USB Type D win.
um
My eyes just went smaller. Oh, right, because I was yawning and it activates the shock to expression like this. And every time I smile, it does a smile expression too. And if I like, it's like neutral. But yeah, most of the time the smiling expression triggers a lot because I like to smile a lot. Urgh. In the meantime, let's see. Oh gosh, we got 2 hours and a half so far.
uh,
Yeah. Really nice. Boyd says, Daki, stop smiling. Your smiling makes me smile. Akagi when getting 4 money, 5 booba. Right. Let's upgrade that to give 5 money, 5 booba.
I will love you five ever. I meant to say.
Yeah. 7 money, 7 money, 1846 booba, but the 2 O's are replaced with dashes.
Yes, it's sinful to put the O's in there. They are
Oh.
sacred.
Oh man. Darn.
That's why they got the double cross on them.
The Nolly symbol, or somewhat of a Nolly symbol. I recall it got changed in the final version. This is the 1995 version.
Uh,
I'll make it 8 money in just a bob. Frog Blast Event Core. They're everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, Some people usually call people that are not into religion atheists, right?
I guess it depends.
Probably.
There's also like agnostic. Maybe you're not sure. That's what that would be. But, um. Okay.
1846.
Well.
Yeah.
What else is there? I mean, some of the big points I had mentioned in my own stream that I did at the end of last year, but regarding the website stuff, the project that I've been developing, yeah, that's going to be not just for my own website, but the DOSBox Deathmatch Club website is going to use that engine as well.
Right.
It's just going to be I think it's going to be like a yeah, well, I, it's been a while since I've been on that, but
Right.
um I guess your personal website is going to be using it as well.
Right. I did make a news article about it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was originally going to redesign the site using PHP, but I decided to hold it off for the time being. At least until summer.
Yeah. I think, hopefully with the way I've got the Sardine engine structured, it should, make it significantly more straightforward to implement the design across all the pages. You just got like header, footer template, and then you got these different views that you can implement for various kinds of pages if you need to, or you can just use the stock ones. That's kind of the idea. But I have to really. I'm definitely gonna need to, document the the engine more once I do have it more finalized. And I'm gonna have to make some extensive documentation on it so people know how it works
Right.
without having to just go straight into the code itself.
Yeah. So definitely remember that Sardine engine is expected to come out or be around in like summer of 2025.
I mean, it depends really on,
Right.
it's definitely been a struggle, so there is the possibility it could be delayed further. I'm hoping not.
Right.
So I've just picked the summer because it feels like a pretty safe margin, but at the same time, things can happen. But
Right.
we could also get done earlier. I guess that just means more time to populate the databases with some content preemptively. So
Right. Boyd says, I'm excited for Sardine Engine, legitimately. Curious to see how it'll turn out. Wish you the best of luck on it. Let's see, on top of
I might
Sardine...
make some demo videos later on when it's more polished.
Right.
But at the same time, I've still got to, patch up those existing videos. There's like the video that I did with the Draga 1, actually. We had been getting it converted it to 4K, but there's like some minor flaws that need to be corrected, and so I have to go back and patch those up.
Right.
And then there's like some new segments that I've been planning to film for Hardcore Windows. Yeah, I had already done filming for like the 9 segment of Hardcore Windows 95 where you got like diskless workstations booting to it remotely. And this is actually going to replace something else out of necessity. It's kind of a complicated story, but I won't really go so much into that.
Hmm.
But at the very least, I am getting more depth out of this. Did some pretty cool stuff in Windows 95. Booting straight off of a network server. Got like Microsoft Office and Internet Explorer on there. Although there's some strange caveats, but I guess that's to be expected because the Windows 95 remote boot feature was never really fleshed out much, and it was pretty much immediately abandoned in following releases. It's only supported on 95 Gold and Service Pack 1. So, yeah, it's pretty. It's kind of a mess. I figure if someone's gonna cover it, it's gonna be me. So.
Yep.
And then I'm going to follow up on it again, this time with like RPL ROMs on ISA cards in the Windows NT series. That much I can reveal. Right. There's more planned, but
Right.
I'm not sure what all I can really say about it at the moment.
I do know from my end on my side of plans here for this year, I also might be producing a bit more videos as well. I think a few videos might be on its way. Maybe somewhere in between late January-ish, maybe mid-January, because it depends on how I feel. I do know there's been like a recent stomach bug going around lately.
Oh,
Yeah. So I might potentially feel sick for a little bit afterwards. Possibly. I mean, but again, my immune system is pretty good, so I might be least affected. But yeah, I guess once I get the energy again, I'll definitely push out one game video, maybe one tech video as well. I'm in the process of writing one video that was meant to be done last year, but hard drive corruption happened, or so I thought. However, when I got a new hard drive enclosure, I apparently plugged in that supposed corrupted hard drive to find out it wasn't corrupted at all. It was more on the enclosure. I plan to have a better
as for me, I mean I'm expecting to, this time for sure, very soon, I'll have the first segment of Hardcore Windows 95 uploaded. I just needed to make another small fix to it, and so I'm having to wait yet more hours on this. But it should be done. Say it should be ready within like a number of hours, I would imagine. And so I probably should have it, I would say, up in the morning actually. Maybe if I'm going to be awake then, otherwise it'll be sometime later in the night, but it's got to get up there very soon. So you could just expect that sometime today, as the day is today.
Today's the day.
The day is today.
Today is the day.
And this is the day.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh boy, we're almost 3 hours in.
what are we even talking about now?
I guess we're just talking to the chatters.
We are...
Farmers. Dum dum dum.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
uh,
Ah,
we are farmers. Bum, ba, 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 ba. Gosh, I remember that bit.
hey
In
guys,
my...
have you ever been to Farmer Jack? Uh, it's a local supermarket chain that died.
Oh.
So, there.
Dum dum
That's your
dum.
history lesson.
Pop quiz. Alright. Well, let's see. Wait. It only says wait. Farmer Jack. I think so, actually.
Oh,
Was that in New
I mean,
York?
I just randomly... No. Well, maybe there might have been some New York locations. This is primarily a Michigan chain.
Ah. Detroit.
Yeah. We had those in a bunch of places here, but I guess what happened was that sometime in the 80s it got bought out by a Jersey company, and um they kind of just mismanaged it. I think, according to someone else, they were also kind of jealous about local Farmer Jack executives in Michigan that were successfully managing their stores. And, in spite of all that,
Hmm.
the company had just vanished. But, I guess in a bit of karma, I guess, their parent company also went under eventually. I I used to go there like when I was really young. Hedgelow.
Oh. Yours. Doom match datch. What the fuck?
Yeah, I meat datch or um yeah, I don't remember much of it there though. All I really recall was that they had these rather dystopian small shopping carts that had these metal flags attached to them saying customer in training. You, the kids could just go out and push them around.
Live Akage reaction to if you have games on your 486. That's right. Got any 486 games on your computer? Ah. Yeah. Got any games on your 4... Oh, what the fuck? 1846. God damn it.
1846.
Ah.
Uh, I have horse buggy.
That's not how you say it.
Yes, it is.
Wah. Boom. Alright.
The video game that I played on my computer was fording the river in real life. And I lost one of my horses. It got shorted out by the by the salt that was in the river. It was a very sad day. That was at least $300 worth, which is like, I don't know, $20,000 in today's money.
Today on Retro Retros. Alright. PC user 486. Oh boy. Kids these days will never know what it's like to die to dysentery. Sad emoji.
Yeah, I have very fond memories of, dying with my my bowels just totally shot.
Boom!
And just constantly vomiting all the time in the hot weather.
Ouch.
That was so good.
So nostalgic. I remember like it was yesterday.
What are we doing?
I don't know. This is like we're just talking in the chat about random shit.
Yeah, talking about diseases now.
God damn. And then we talk about cars. Whee.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should go back to if we want to ever get a shot at, properly implementing self-driving. Just go back to horses.
Yeah. I'll see
You
you
know,
in Oregon. Ha ha. At the
they're
Oregon
very
Trail.
reliable. They'll carry you no matter how drunk you are.
Y'all are drunk. Go to sleep, kids. Oh, yes. Too much Doom Deathmatch got us drunk.
Yeah, you should make sure to, doom in moderation. Totally just not go for. I mean, it's very dangerous. Video game addiction is very bad for you, and it is very unhealthy. It is it is the worst thing. If we. Yeah,
Ah.
I could make jokes about that all I want, but you know, come to think of it, you know, you play any games that come from China. I mean, I think they have these notices in here now where they say, gaming can be very dangerous. You should only do 1 hour at a time, or 1 hour a week or something. I don't know. It's just.
Gaming. But yeah, holy shit, we got 5 minutes before the third hour. And most of the late of the stream is just us chatting to the viewers. uh, oh boy.
Fun fact, we were originally planning to do cooperative arcade games before on the stream, but then we just settled on Chocolate Doom because I
Yeah,
guess, Doom when nothing else works.
right. I guess we've got to figure out networking the arcade stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure if MAME has it in there. I think RetroArch might, but
Either RetroArch or maybe Parsec. Wait, would
yeah,
Parsec
I'm
work
not.
on Linux?
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, think of it like remote desktop, but designed for split-screen gaming.
Oh, oh. Okay, so it's one of those things.
Right.
Alright, oh.
Yeah, it's like a remote desktop ordeal.
Yeah. Oh.
So, like, if we're gonna, like, play video games, either one of us has to, like, connect to each other through Parsec
Yeah.
with controllers plugged in.
I know I had like a small list of games in mind, but
Heck, I mean, heck, if we ever do that, we probably should be able to play Unreal Tournament for the PS2.
I never liked split screen gaming.
Oh.
It just feels so awkward.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, I guess people have their memories about it, so... Oh, Void seems interested in UTPS2 through Parsec. I've been meaning to get more footage of that. Like, last time I ever did something like that was, like, in 2021 at the near end. Obviously, it didn't have, like, clean audio. It was more like, it was drenched in voice chat. Usually with people that, either were... I guess they used to be in in my community server, but yeah. Yeah, because of that, whenever I think I uploaded footage of that on the Network Games Archive channel. That's why there's background music on that video, because I wasn't able to, have it, so it would I didn't have like a track that only had the game audio. For whatever reason. But yeah, I'll definitely look into doing Unreal Tournament PS2 one of these days in split screen. Alright, Void's going to bed. Gonna go sleep now. See you, Daki and Kuji. Well, have a good one, Void.
Bad.
Yeah. Hopefully everything goes well with for yours. Night, Void, yes. But yeah, I mean, we got, oh boy, about less than a minute left before 3 hours stream. Christ. I think the last hour just was mostly spent on the chatter. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know what to do now. I'm stuck.
Oh.
I'm still waiting for my thing to encode, and it's like 3 in the morning.
It's about to be 2 a.m. here, actually.
And I'm not sure if I want to have another dinner or just try to take a shower and go to bed or something.
Yeah, I've been thinking about eating something, actually, but yeah.
What's the highest number you can think of? Highest number I can think of is 99999999999999999999999.
Yes. 100 million, 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 100 million.
999 quadrillion.
Oh.
Alright.
Alright.
Sextillion. I think that's a real number that you can use.
Gosh. Yeah.
I think it just means 6 of...
But yeah, I guess we kind of ran out of topics, and yeah. Yeah, I think this is going on far enough, guys. So
Let's talk about the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's just I could... 1.
0.
-50.
Yes. Alright. Well, I'm feeling hungry, so...
Yeah, probably might need to eat too, but I also need to stretch a lot because I've gotten cramped from sitting in here and.
But yeah, well, for those of you who are sticking around, watching the stream and all that stuff, thanks for sticking around and stuff. Remember, for those of you who are watching, feel free to check out Drevenor, and the upcoming Sardine engine, if whenever it comes out, is expected around summer 2025. Subject to change, probably, but... Oh, and there's also a YouTube channel as well, if you want to check that out. But yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight, everybody. For those of you who are watching, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more content, and as always, peace out, everybody. See ya later. And remember, 5 money for Booba, or 4 money 5 Booba.
Wait, there was something else that I